Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. Hope you're having a great start to your day. And we'll just get going here. And as you get your notifications, I'm trying to find where's Facebook here. There it is. Okay, are you getting your notifications? Here we go. Okay. Yeah, let me just see here if I can see anything. Okay, good morning, guys, and we appreciate you coming on. And let me see here as we, if I can say hello to a few folks this morning. Maybe not, eh? Maybe not. Let's see here. And I see my name there, but we love you dearly, and thanks for coming on. Let's see. I can't see anything, so good morning to you. Okay. We're gonna look at something this morning that's kind of interesting, and I was sort of do a little bit of a roll call, but I can't find anything here. Let me try this. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Have you guys heard of a name? And I know you have if you've been on this program for a while, but for the new folks here, I want to talk to you about, his name is Joseph Kraft. Now, not Kraft dinner, not Kraft peanut butter, okay? Joseph Kraft. Anywho, I've been following that guy probably 30, 40 years. Whenever he wrote a book, I made sure I read that book because he was sort of the father of diabetes, okay? Now, he made some unbelievable statements about diabetes. And I want to just talk about that today because I was looking through some notes and I saw his name and I said, you know, that guy was light years ahead of time. He really was. He was unbelievable. Like what he talked about. And guys, I'm going to tell you something. Dr. Joseph Kraft, who died just a few years ago, was a genius. And what he had to say about diabetes was incredible. And here's one thing that he did say years and years ago. He said this. I remember underlining this in one of his books. He said, if you have heart disease, okay, listen to what I'm going to say. If you have heart disease, you are a diabetic. What? That's what he said. He said, if you have heart disease, characterized by atherosclerosis, okay? So remember, he did thousands of autopsies on diabetic patients, okay? Thousands of autopsies. This is where he came to his conclusion. If you were a diabetic, you got heart disease. If you got heart disease, you're a diabetic. Now, undiagnosed in a lot of cases. Because as we talk about on this program a lot, diabetes is the last thing to happen, guys. It's not the first thing. It's the last thing. Again, a little bit of physiology, okay? We don't even have to get into the weeds. Let's just take some basics. Your body is dedicated to controlling blood sugar. Dedicated. It understands the importance of controlling blood sugar. Blood sugar out of control is a massive failure on your body's part. Okay? It's a massive failure on your body's part. That's why it has to control your blood sugar, because your body knows that unattended sugar in your blood is catastrophe for your blood vessels, okay? So, diabetes, and now we're at a point, okay? We're at a point that almost half the population is diabetic. If you put in pre-diabetic, which Dr. Joseph Kraft would say is diabetes. Because remember, diabetes is the last thing to happen. So if you're a pre-diabetic, you're a diabetic. And in my office, I didn't like relying on blood sugar. I mean, I could, but I didn't. I liked urine as a test. Urine is the old-fashioned test for diabetes. They don't do it anymore. They do a urinalysis, okay? Because a lot of times you'll go and the doctor wants a urinalysis done, but they're not looking for sugar. I mean, if it happens to show up, okay, but that's not what they're not doing a urinalysis for that. They're doing it mainly to see if you have a bladder infection or whatever. They're looking for leukocytes in the urine and, maybe protein in the urine. But they're not really looking for sugar in the urine. The old-fashioned doctor, when they didn't have ability to prick your finger and test for your blood sugar like we have easily today, I remember my dad, urine. Smell it. Here, son, smell this urine. What do you smell? Sugar? Yeah. That's a diabetic. And that happens, by the way, when the body is getting rid of sugar. You're a diabetic. I used to tell patients that all the time. Well, my doctor said I'm not a diabetic. My blood sugar's not high. No, you're peeing out sugar. You're a diabetic. 100%. 100%. So listen to a statement that Dr. Joe, I probably brought, look, we've been doing podcasting for a lot of years. I did a radio show for many, many years, 20 years before I started podcasting. Okay? So I had a radio show. I made this statement, 10 times, probably over the years on our show. But let me say this again because I'm quoting him. Okay? I'm quoting the father of diabetes. Here's what he said. Most people who die of a heart attack, okay, follow me? Most people who die of a heart attack, this is Dr. Joseph Kraft. Here's a statement he made. Most people who die of a heart attack go to their grave never knowing that they were really diabetic. Wow. Think of the implications of that statement, is what he's saying. Is you don't get heart disease unless you got trouble with blood sugar. Okay? Most people who die of a heart attack go to the grave never knowing that they were really diabetic. Atherosclerosis. I remember one of you last week put a little testimony on the private Facebook group saying that you got you insisted, I can't remember who their first name was. I really like this. They, because the doctor wanted to put them on statins, their cholesterol was high or whatever. And they said, well, test my carotid arteries. If you think I've got heart disease or, because my cholesterol is high, test my carotid arteries. And after a lot of arm twisting, the doctor did it, and they had no atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis, hardening of the arteries, is not due to cholesterol. Cholesterol does not cause that. Ever. Ever. I've always said that. Ever. And it's the reason I'm so adamant. I don't buy the cholesterol thing. I never have. I never have. Cholesterol for heart disease, you're looking for love in all the wrong places, in my opinion. I never bought that premise. Now, one of the reasons, not the only reason, but one of the reasons is studying Dr. Joseph Kraft. Because, and we talk about this almost daily, guys, insulin. Insulin. That hormone that your pancreas produces. It's on your side. Okay? It's on your side. But you don't want to overuse it because your cells get tired of it. We talk about this all the time, and your cells go, hey, insulin, I'm so sick of you. I hate you. You come around all the time. We used to be friends, and now you're a bad neighbor. You're always coming. You're always knocking at the door. I'm tired of it. Okay? So what happens? The cells develop insulin resistance. Okay? It's all diet, guys. It's diet. Someone insists, okay? This is the unholy trinity here. Sugar, carbs, and oils, bad oils. Okay? The unholy trinity. What happens? You live on that stuff. What happens? Your cells, because when you have sugar, okay, crappy carbohydrates, what happens? You must secrete insulin. You continue to eat that way. Look at the kids today. From crappy dinner to Pop-Tarts to breakfast cereals to orange juice to these smoothie shops. I get a headache. And coffee shops that they go get their syrup. And you know what happens? You secrete a lot of insulin. You secrete a lot of insulin. Your cells get tired of it. You develop a condition called insulin resistance. And when you have insulin resistance, you have inflammation. That's the response. And in the arteries, inflammation, okay? It's disease without a fever. It's not a virus. It's not a bacteria. It's insulin resistance. And you now You got a raging fire. Okay? Raging fire inside of your blood vessels. Arteries, when you have heart disease, arteries are on fire with inflammation, not cholesterol. Cholesterol is like the fireman. It's coming to the scene to get rid of the inflammation. It's not the bad guy, it's the good guy. And guys, we've talked about this a lot. But again, there's a reason for my madness when it comes to food. Okay? There's a reason. I didn't do it for nothing. Remember, the reset. Eggs, meat, and cheese for 30 days. Why did I start that program in my clinic years and years and years ago? Why did I do that? How did it start, Dr. Martin? Diabetes. I gave it for diabetes. What? Yeah, I gave it for... I got people off carbohydrates. And my goal was... Okay, my goal was lower insulin. You're a diabetic. You don't get along with carbs. You just don't get along. You love them, but they don't love you. They're creating havoc inside your body. They're destroying your blood vessels. You're developing... Why do you think, guys, a diabetic, okay, forget Joseph Kraft for a minute. Why do you think a diabetic is already 50, 60 or more % more likely to have a heart attack? What? Yes. Why? Blood vessels damaged. Sugar damages blood vessels, and that inflammation creates a response of atherosclerosis, hardening of the arteries. It's not cholesterol. It's not cholesterol. Cholesterol is the fireman. It's trying to put the fire out. And guys, this is so important, because what we're finding, not me, okay, I'm not a pathologist, but what they are finding is even children today, children are developing atherosclerosis, hardening of their arteries due to inflammation, due to insulin, due to bad diet. Okay? Why do we see so much obesity? It's insulin. I teach you guys this all the time. It's the reason I do what I do with food. Okay? I take out my fat ball. Hold on a minute. I have it right beside me. I take out fat. Okay? So for those listening on a podcast, I got 5 pounds of fat here. Man, 5 pounds is big. A foot long, 6 inches thick. Here's me, okay? What I taught my patients for years and years and years and years, okay? I had this in my office. I said, see this? Yeah. When you eat sugar, when you have crappy carbs, okay? Got that part right? Yeah, I got that. Okay. That creates this in your body. What? Well, it creates fat. Why? I thought fat made me fat. No, fat don't make you fat. Fat don't make you fat. Steak doesn't make you fat. Bacon and eggs don't make you fat. Bread makes you fat. Okay? What? Well, it's just the way it is. Because when you have sugar or anything that turns to sugar rapidly, you need insulin. Insulin has a job to do. It cannot allow that sugar to stay in your bloodstream. So what does sugar do? Well, sugar makes insulin come to the rescue. And the traffic cop says, you can't park in the blood. You must come with me. And now I am going to park you. Okay? And here's its favored parking spots. Muscle. Oh, I can only take so much room. Liver. Fat cells. Those are the parking spots. The muscles, not too much room. The liver, not too much room. You keep eating carbs. You keep eating crappy carbs. You start your morning, instead of having bacon and eggs, you start your morning with cereal. Oh, Dr. Martin, it's oatmeal. I heard that 1,000,000 times in my office. Dr. Martin, it's Quaker Oats. I can't go to the bathroom unless I have my Quaker Oats. And I said, see the fat? Yeah, I see it. That's what you're doing. What? That's what you're doing. You're Quaker Oats. Frosted Flakes are great. Tony the Tiger. That's what they used to call me as a kid. They're not great. They're great at giving you diabetes. Anywho, diabesity. What is that? Well, insulin, what does it do? It stores fat. So as long as, put this in your craw, guys, I know you have, but let's just really cement it in your craw. You eat the wrong foods, the unholy trinity, sugar, carbs, crappy carbs. And I mean, when I say carbs, I mean bread, pasta, noodles, rice, cereals, muffins, bagels. Dr. Martin, they're whole wheat muffins. Yeah, they're going to be sugar in 5 seconds, and you probably got 6 teaspoons of sugar in there, added in, especially if they're store-bought. What happens? Well, insulin has to come to the rescue. And it's going to take that sugar out, and it stores it as fat. Going to turn to fat. And so whether it was weight loss, like even diets, guys, think about this, okay? Calories in, calories out. I got taught that in school in the 70s. Calories in, calories out. Eat less, move more. Was never true. Never true. It's what you eat. It's not calories. Has nothing to do with calories. Has everything to do whether you're using insulin or not. If you have a steak, insulin is on the sidelines. It doesn't need to work. A little, for those nitpickers, you're going to come after me. Yeah, you always need a little bit of insulin. Okay? But not much. So for all intents and purposes, I used to tell my patients, when you have a steak, you don't need insulin. What's that mean? Well, now you're burning fat. You're going to burn it. You're not storing it because there's no insulin present. You see so when I give the reset, people, they get frustrated at times because the original purpose of the reset was not weight loss. But most people, that's their goal. And I understand that, guys. I've been around a long time. I was in practice a long time. I understood that. I had a weight loss clinic. But you got low carb. Why? Always, always, always low carbohydrates, low sugar. Why? Because of insulin. And I said, what you're doing inside your body is what needs to be done. It's the best way to eat. Eat nutrient-dense foods. Your insulin is on the sidelines. You eat an egg, on the sidelines. You're having dairy, butter, cream, cheese. Your insulin's on the sidelines. When insulin's on the sidelines, remember what we've been talking about. Not only not storing fat, but you're lowering inflammation. And inflammation damages your blood vessels from the presence of sugar. And that's how you get atherosclerosis. So Dr. Joseph Kraft was a genius. He said, people that have a heart attack, they don't even know it, but they're really a diabetic. It's undiagnosed diabetes. That's what he said. I mean, that guy's doing the most astounding principles of nutrition. And he lived long enough to understand the condition that he talked about, which is metabolic syndrome. It's what I've been talking about on my radio show for 20 years. And 93% of the population have trouble with insulin. You have trouble with it, you're developing a condition of atherosclerosis. That is why heart disease is the #1 killer of chronic disease. Heart disease. If it was cholesterol, guys, we'd have got rid of heart disease by now. They would have put, and believe me, I don't trust them as far as I can throw them. They would put statin drugs in our drinking water if we allowed it. And we almost did. Put it in the drinking water. Because cholesterol is at the root of heart disease, according to the world out there. Are they right? No, they're not right. They're not right. And guys, I'm going to tell you, let me give you a little secret, okay? Because I think you know this, but okay, doc, how do I know? How do I know if I have the process of atherosclerosis going on in my body? How do I know that? Without putting dye in my arteries to see if I got atherosclerosis. I'm going to give you how you can know. Okay? Your doctor doesn't know this, but you can know it. Your doctor hasn't been taught this, because if they did, they would tell you. But they haven't been taught it. But this is a fact. Okay? If you have elevated triglycerides, So when you get your blood work, get my book, Sun, Steak, and Steel. I really explain it there. But anyway, if your triglycerides are high, your blood vessels are burning inside. You got a fire going on. And it's damaging your lining, your endothelial, your Teflon-like slipperiness of your blood vessels. Already happening. If your triglycerides are high and your HDL cholesterol is low, you have inflammation, aging, an inflammatory condition going on in your body. Your triglycerides are high and your HDL cholesterol, see cholesterol, it's a factor, but you want it to be high, not low. You want your HDL cholesterol. You know your blood vessels are squeaky clean if you got low triglycerides and elevated HDL. Okay? Now there's another test. They should do it. Most doctors don't. You can measure inflammation, silent type, with a test called CRP, C-reactive protein. Your body makes C-reactive protein. They can measure it. It comes out of the liver. Liver. You know the organ that doesn't get a lot of ink is your liver. Right? But CRP is made there. Doctors should really look at that. So if you have that trinity of testing, you know me, I like other ones, but I love triglycerides, HDL, CRP. Now I'm going to give you the one I can't say if I want to put it number one. I won't put it number one, but I'll put it right in there. The 4 tests that you should get to know if you have damage going on in your arteries. A1C. A1C. It'll give you early indications if you have insulin resistance. If it's above 5.4, what do I always say? You're on the Titanic. I was looking at this yesterday. I get blown away by it, guys. Okay? I get blown away by it because it's so incredible that most people, listen what he says again, most people who die of a heart attack go to the grave never knowing that they were really diabetic. Their arteries were on fire for years. 4 tests: triglycerides, HDL, CRP, A1C. Okay? We talked about glycated hemoglobin all the time. I think we talked about it yesterday. It's a great test to get done. I tell you, I relied on that test in my office big time because I understood the significance of it. And I probably was light years ahead of my time, but I knew what I was doing. I really, and that's why the reset. It fixes those things. I was aiming at your pancreas, aiming at your liver with the reset, emptying the liver of the Costco parking lot, emptying it. Dr. Joseph Kraft. If you have heart disease, quote, you are a diagnosed or undiagnosed diabetic. Quoting him, the father of diabetes. Okay, guys, Friday is what? Q&A. Get your questions in to Martin Clinic, info@martinclinic.com. Info@martinclinic.com. And, okay, we're going to answer your questions Friday. So send them in. You can ask the questions on my site here. During live, I can't even see them. Okay? But the best way to get them answered is to send them in to us, okay? So that my staff, they accumulate them and they put them up for me to answer on Friday's Q&A. Tell everyone about the Doctor Is In podcast. Give us a 5-star review. Show us love. You guys always do, so I appreciate it. And like, for those, you want to make sure you get the Facebook Live. Well, just put a like down there and share it. Okay? We appreciate that. Okay? We got almost 90,000 friends on just Facebook. Okay? So we appreciate that big time. Okay, love you guys. Talk to you soon.